Man, y'all know it's hard out here for a pimp, motherfucker. Anyway, welcome to the first episode of Video Rentals, the new series that I'm doing where, like the old video store, I'll be picking two movies that may have nothing to do with each other, that definitely have nothing to do with each other. Just like when your mom and dad back in the 90s or 80s or whenever you grew up going to video stores would only let you pick out one movie, and then maybe your brother would pick out a movie. So they would always be like two different movies that have nothing to do with each other. And that's the point of this. And the movies that I'm choosing are also mostly movies that I've never seen before and movies that I picked up on DVD or Blu-ray from half-price books, thrift stores, or wherever for really cheap. I really want to promote people to go buy DVDs. Don't be afraid to buy DVDs. I don't know why everyone is afraid to buy fucking DVDs. Just fucking buy them, man. They're still great. And why do we collect movies? We collect movies to watch the movies. That's what I'm trying to preach here, as well as holding myself accountable and actually watching the movies that I buy. But anyway, today I'll be talking about Hustle and Flow from 2005 and Paranormal Entity, not Activity, Paranormal Entity from 2009, which are both movies that I picked up for $2. And I've never seen either one of these movies before, which was really fun. So let's go ahead and start things off with Hustle and Flow, which I literally just finished right before I started recording this. I'm sure most of you out there have heard of this movie, if not seen it. And man, this is such a good movie. I'm still trying to process how it ended because, not to start with the end, but the whole movie, not the whole movie, but towards the end, I was kind of waiting for some big climactic, crazy shit hits the fan moment to happen. And I didn't think it was going to. And then it did, and it really surprised me. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna spoil anything. It was like kind of soul crushing in a way, and not what I expected to happen at all. But it was also uplifting. I don't know, it's almost like it has a happy bad ending, which a lot of movies these days never have a bad ending or a sad, depressing ending. And again, this was neither, but it was definitely a unique ending that only movies from this time period really have. Like most of today's movies always end happy. You know the good guy's always going to win. There's never really any surprises. And this movie really threw me for a loop, especially at the end. But now jumping back to the other parts of the movie that I enjoyed, which was a lot. I really liked this movie. It's basically about this guy who's a pimp and he's trying to become, or he discovers, I guess, that he wants to be an MC or a rapper, an artist, whatever you want to call it. So the Terrence Howard character collaborates with Anthony Anderson, who is another actor that I really love. I love Anthony Anderson. But anyway, Anthony Anderson works for a church, and then he's like, come on in here, Howard. Well, it's more like Howard approaches him because he works at a church doing like the audio stuff. But he's like, come on in here, we'll make some music, we'll collaborate. He gives him a shot. They set up a little studio in Terrence Howard, I forget his fucking name. Oh yeah, DJ, how could I forget? It's all over the fucking movie. But anyway, they set up a recording studio, like a makeshift ghetto-ass recording studio. Are you allowed to say ghetto anymore? I don't know. But they set up the thing in Terrence Howard's fucking DJ's spare bedroom, essentially, and they start working on music together, and it's really cool. As most of you guys watching this probably know, I've done a little bit of rapping back in the day. I also have made some beats back in the day that I think I took those down as well because they were pretty bad. But anyway, I could definitely relate to this movie, not to like the crack hoe aspects, you know, or the prostitute aspects. You know, I'm a very privileged white guy who lives in a middle class area. But, you know, there was still a lot I could relate to. You know, the whole struggle of trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, figuring out what direction you want to take your life, and then just the overall struggle of actually making it happen once you kind of figure out what you do want to do. I could relate to that part a little bit too much. But this movie was great. I can't wait to dive into the special features because unlike a lot of Blu-ray and 4Ks these days, the DVDs always had a ton of special features, a ton of behind the scenes. I saw that there's like a 30-minute documentary just on the behind the scenes, as well as a few other really cool looking special features that I can't wait to dive into. So now let's talk about Paranormal Entity, which, just like the name sounds like, it's a Paranormal Activity sort of rip-off movie that's also very low budget, presumably lower budget. I don't know that for a fact, but presumably lower than the original Paranormal Activity movie. And man, I'm not gonna lie, I had zero interest in watching this movie, but a few people who watched my Blu-ray hunting half-price books haul video sort of thing that I did a week or two ago, they recommended that I watch it and said it's pretty good. And yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it is bad, but you know, bad in that sort of way that it still has value, if that makes any sense. Like, yes, it is a ripoff of Paranormal Activity, except there are some things that they do differently. Like, for instance, instead of it being a couple that's tormented by some sort of spirit or demonic force, it is a family, a mom, a daughter, and their son. The son is the one who's like trying to record everything that's going on. They think it's attached to the sister, and their dad died, presumably somewhat recently. So they're not sure if it's connected to that or if it's something else completely, but it seems to like the sister. And I'd be lying to you if I said there weren't moments that kind of did freak me out a little bit. Similar to what the Paranormal Activity movie did to me back in the day, and honestly still does. Like, that movie really freaks me out even to this day. And those people that I mentioned that recommended me to watch this also mentioned that there's a little bit of titty action in here. So I had that driving me through the movie as well. Not that it was like a slog to get through. It was actually pretty fast paced though. But yeah, I was really looking forward to those titties, and yes, you do get some titties, and it was brief but worth it. Let me just say, pufferfish nipples are not a bad thing, ladies. Gives you a little something to suck on, if you know what I'm saying, ladies. Call me. This movie came in this 20-pack horror DVD that you can see in my thrifting video. So I have a lot more movies in there to get to, which is going to be fun, and I might pick one to do on the next episode of Video Rentals as well, possibly. I would go into more detail about what exactly happens regarding the entity that's haunting them, but I don't want to give anything away. But I will say, if you really like Paranormal Activity, I think you'll really like this. It's definitely worth a watch if you're into paranormal movies like that. The acting wasn't really that great, but I mean, what do you really expect from a low-budget Paranormal Activity ripoff movie? I will say, the whole movie, they are trying to get a hold of this goddamn doctor or priest or I don't know, something along those lines that's going to come in and try to help them figure out what's going on and how they can get rid of this spirit or whatever it is. And the whole time he's just ghosting them, essentially. Like, they say he's on vacation or whatever. Man, just call somebody else. This dude is taking his sweet ass time, and then by the time he does show up, like, the editing is kind of like played for comedic effect, because the dude's like, all right, I need you guys to pay attention. There is an entity in this house that really loves your sister. All right, he wants to fuck your sister. She's got those pufferfish nipples, and he is coming in like a shark, and he's gonna eat those fuckers up. All right, now listen, do I have your full attention? All right, good. Now here's what we're gonna do. And then it literally cuts, and it's a hard cut to something that I'm not gonna say because I don't want to ruin it, but it was actually kind of hilarious. And honestly, that would be my one downside, is I wish it had a better conclusion or big like moment in the end, and instead it's kind of like the ending was the least scary part about the entire movie. I don't know. I'm also not even sure if the brother, no, I shouldn't say that, I don't want to spoil anything. Anyway, you'll just have to watch it and find out for yourself. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's episode of Video Rentals, the first installment. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be doing more of these hopefully in the near future. Next week, I'm going to work on a Vinegar Syndrome recommendations video. I know I was kind of mentioning that in one of my other videos not long ago, and I'm actually finally going to do that and put that together. I should have done that instead of this probably, but I don't know. I was really like hyped up to watch all these movies and to dive into some of these DVD finds, go buy DVD again, motherfuckers. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.